does technology impact HR practices? Technology changes the way HR departments contact employees, store files, and analyze employee performance. Technology makes it easier to gather and break down data on employees to get an overall picture. Used well, technology makes HR practices more efficient. When used poorly, it can get in the way of managing the company's human resources. Good HR practices maximize the benefits and minimize the problems. 1. Recruiting transformed by the Internet. Before the Internet and email, connecting with job seekers meant phone, FaceTime, or a letter. In the 21st century, it's routine for companies to post openings online, and require job seekers to apply through an online applicant tracking system. That frees up a great deal of time that HR would have spent dealing with paper resumes or personal calls. However, HR practices don't always take into account how well the system works for the candidates. Online forms have a standardized format that often makes it hard to tell a star performer from a slacker. A badly designed system with confusing instructions and slow response times can actually turn job seekers off to applying with a firm. 2. Ease of communication. With email, text, and messaging apps, it's easier than ever for HR staff to stay in touch with the rest of the company. If a manager wants to share a new schedule with a project team, one email with an attachment can share the word with a dozen people at once. Though, here's a risk of relying too much on tech as a time saver. Information in a 2-page email may be better off delivered to the group face-to-face so everyone can ask questions, hear the answers. 3. Data analysis of employee performance. Analyzing employee performance used to depend on personal assessment standards. Did the employee finish the task on time? Do they meet all the goals from last year's performance appraisal? Which tasks do they perform best? IT makes it easier to gather breakdown data on employees to get an overall picture. Software programs can even take over much of the work in evaluating employees. 4. Too much data. As HR makes more use of data collection analysis, employees might feel their privacy shrinking. If, say, a company has security cameras that monitor employees every second, it is easier to find the facts behind a harassment charge or someone drinking on the job. However, being constantly monitored can alienate employees as well. Good HR practices involve not only knowing how much data can be gathered, but also how much should be gathered. Another risk is that the HR department can end up getting more data than it can manage. After a certain point, wading through data to pick out the relevant material becomes an impossible task. It's also possible that HR will misread data or make assumptions that a face-to-face conversation could clear up. 5. Security practices. Securing employee records used to mean locking a file cabinet. In the 21st century, best HR practices have to include security for the digital data. Some security is more an IT matter, such as a good firewall. HR needs to have good policies in place, though, governing who can access confidential data, both hard copy and in electronic form.